Now, photo purists, look away because in this video, I want to show you a technique that you can use that's going to improve your compositions after the fact in post-processing. Of course, it's best to get the composition right in the field, but oftentimes you come home and you realize that you did something that you wish you wouldn't have done. And this tool in Photoshop is going to be exactly how you can do that. Now, even if you don't understand how to use Photoshop, don't worry because I'm going to show you everything you need to know in this video, and it's very, very simple. Now, some of my favorite techniques with this tool, which is called the warp tool, include minimizing the midground, so kind of making the foreground and the background larger and minimizing the midground. You can also use it to straighten things like horizons. You can make mountains look a little bit taller. You can make mountains look a little bit more prominent, make a certain area of the scene look a little bit more prominent. There's so many options and things that you can do with it that I'm going to be showing you in today's video on 2 different example images. So let's go ahead and jump right in there. So for our friends that are over in Lightroom, I'll show you just briefly if you need to open your image in Photoshop. Again, you don't need to have any knowledge of Photoshop prior to watching this video. But if you are using Lightroom, go ahead and right click or control click on your image and go to edit in and then do edit in Adobe Photoshop 2026. That'll load your image right over into Photoshop, which I've already got loaded in here. And your image should look something like this. If you've got a little lock on your background layer, just go ahead and hit the lock to unlock it. And then you've got your base layer. Now I like to duplicate this layer by clicking and dragging down here. And then I can title this warp and I can title this one base by just double clicking on it. Super easy. Now that's going to allow me to make my adjustments on this layer here while maintaining the original edit down here so I can toggle with the eyeball seeing before and after. And I'll show you exactly how that works in just a second. So I also like to zoom out here. You can command minus a couple times to zoom out. Something like this. Now to warp your images, what you're going to do is command T and then you're going to control or right click and then click warp. That's going to allow you to completely freehand warp your photo, which is exactly what you want to do. So now you can probably see, you can drag this around from any spot on the image. A lot of people think that you can only drag on the lines, but you can drag anywhere in the image. You can click on the handlebars, you can click on the edge. Wherever you want to drag from is good. So think about before you open this tool, what exactly you're even trying to do, because if we don't have an objective, we're not really going to be able to do anything effective. So what I want to do with this photo is I like all the flowers in the midground, but like this section here doesn't really do a lot for me. I shot this with a 12mm lens on a full frame camera, so everything appears really far away. I want the mountains to be a little more prominent, and I would like the foreground to maybe be a little bit more prominent as well, and I can do that by reducing the midground in my photo. Now to do that, I'm simply just going to kind of pinch the midground in. So what I'm going to do is click somewhere in this box about right here, halfway through this box, drag it up, and then do the same thing with the box above it and just pinch and drag in. And I'm going to do that all the way across on the image. I want to keep things somewhat level. Click over here. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. Just do it as you see fit. And now as I'm starting to drag things down, I'm noticing that, I'm getting a little too much sky. So I can grab this handlebar here and bring this up. That's also in turn going to make my mountains just a little bit bigger there. I can also bring this mountain on the left down because this isn't really a mountain, it's a hill. This was much closer to me than these mountains here, so this looks larger even though it is substantially smaller than these mountains. And I want the mountains to kind of be the star of the show. I don't want this hill over here to be the star. So I'm going to just drag that down to make it a little smaller. You can even drag it out if you just wanted to bring it outside the frame a little bit. Totally up to you with how you want to do that. Drag this over and around. Let's pinch that midground a little bit more. Somewhere about in there is feeling pretty good to me. Now, of course, if you have any horizon in your photo, you want to make sure that's still straight. In this photo, I don't. So this looks just fine, I think. Maybe we'll bring that down and then bring this mountain up. Let's hit return. Now we can toggle and see exactly what we've done to this image here. Before and after. We'll zoom in, make that a little bit bigger. Before, after. Before, and after. So we've made these mountains a little more prominent. We've made the foreground a little bit more prominent, and we've reduced the prominence in the midground there by just making this section of the photo basically between here and here. We've made this area a lot smaller. in the image, and we've increased the prominence of the outside of the photo, the edges, which is what's really, really important in this photo, the mountain and then the flowers in the foreground. So I really like how that's looking. Of course, you can push this as far as you want if you really want these mountains to look tall. I want it to look realistic to what I saw in the scene, which was these nice tall mountains in the background, but I don't need it to be like something crazy, like crazy pointy, and I don't want to overdo it. So just a little slight adjustment like this is going to be just perfect. Now let's look at another example here. This photo I shot in Zion. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to duplicate that background layer, and we will call this warp. Now in this photo, what I want to do, this right side hill is really taking a lot of prominence. And once again, shot with a 12mm super ultra wide lens. This over here on the right is actually a lot shorter than what's in front of us here, but because it's so much closer to us, you can see it takes up a lot of prominence in the scene. So I just want to make that a little bit smaller, and I might just do that by dragging the whole image off. And of course I could crop it right here, but I don't want my image to be like a square crop. I want it to stay in 2:3. So I am going to drag that over. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. Command T, Control click, and select warp. Now I'm going to zoom out, Command minus, and then I will start to drag. Now with this, I can't just drag down because I have no pixels above. So I need to just drag this out. And I can pull this out like that, and then I can start to drag down. Maybe I want to get it to about right there. Now you'll notice everything kind of looks like it's being pulled that direction. So let's just go ahead and do the same thing on the bottom, and we'll just pull the whole side of the image over. And I'm okay with this exiting right in the corner. I actually like that quite a bit. I might pull this back in just a little bit, pull this down, bring it out, and then I'm gonna just pull this back a little bit, make that tree a little bit stretched, and then move our mountain peak over just like that. Now I'm gonna do the same thing over here on the left. I'm just gonna drag this tree out, give it that kind of wide angle distortion look just like that, and then I'm gonna do the same thing with the midground that I did in the last photo. Just pinch this in a little bit here, and then drag this mountain up. Just making that a little bit more prominent. And you can adjust this as you see fit, however you need. This can even come down a little bit more. You just got to be careful with things starting to look a little bit tilted there. So that's probably something that you don't want to do too much, but I'm feeling like this is looking pretty decent there. This is not quite so prominent over there, and I'm okay with this kind of sloping down because it is a canyon that does go and opens up over here to the right. So I'm actually okay with that. But if you do want to make our mountain peak, or I guess I'm calling this a mountain, whatever you want to call it, if we want to make it a little bit bigger, we can just click and drag from the center and fatten up the middle of the frame. You can see how I'm kind of widening that a little bit. We want to watch the tree here, make sure the tree retains its correct proportions, about like that. Looks pretty straight on both sides. And whenever we're done, we will hit return. Let that load out. Now this does take a little bit of practice to get used to. I recommend starting off small, but you can see we've really done a whole heck of a lot to this photo by making this way more prominent. As I look at it again, you know, there might be a few things that I'd want to go back and make adjustments to. Maybe I don't want this tree so close to the edge. Maybe I don't want this so wide down here. So you can see I would just go right back in and make new adjustments, but that does make this certainly more prominent. So a lot of different things that you can do here. You can see just how easy it is to warp your images to make a little bit more compelling compositions. And this is something I'm telling you guys that more landscape photographers are doing than you think. So if you're someone who doesn't like techniques like this, you know, I'm sorry, it definitely might not be for you. It's not for everyone, and you definitely don't have to do this. A lot of people would say this is cheating. In my eyes, a lot of times I'm just trying to make the scene look more like how it felt when I was out in the field. But ultimately, wherever you draw the line is going to be up to you. So let me know down below in the comments what you think. If you've tried this tool, let me know what you think about it. And if you think this is cheating, let me know as well. I'd love to hear from you guys and hear your honest thoughts on this technique. So as always, I greatly appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure to leave me a like and a subscribe. It helps me to continue to grow my channel so I can continue to bring you free videos. As always, my name is Austin Jackson, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.